Welcome back to White Ninja's video tutorial number 2. As I promised, we are going to try to knock this Android app out today. Yes, that is right. We're going to build an entire Android application in one day and post it to the store that exact same day. So, getting on with our challenge. Sorry I took a long break there. What I did in the break was I just kind of went and got me something to eat. I was getting a little hungry. So, back, I'm full. I've got me a nice little Sonic, Sprite, and Powerade combination mix, courtesy of the Clark at Sonic. So, now, I was sitting here also thinking about what can we else we put into this app. We have, links to go to websites and open up other apps. We've got a download link. We're able to download images. And I was sitting here going, what else can we do? Well, for those out there excuse me, who want to build an app for their company or for themselves and create a contact feature, we have different options we can set up. We can even do emails and call buttons, and that's one thing we're going to dive into right now. We want to create a new button underneath here, and we're going to basically have a button right here that just says, okay, we're going to go to the contacts page. We're going to create a contact page, make it look nice and neat and everything, and from there we're going to go ahead and create the contact page. So let's get started. Since we want it to be underneath the download button, we're just going to create a new table row. So we're going to get a button going on, and then we're going to, and obviously, we're going to have to give it a name, ID, if you would. So we're going to do this with ID as contact, and width, just match the parent. And the same thing for your height. Reverse that. We're going to do Android height and Android width to wrap content. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do Android background, and we're going to reference our drawable file, and we're going to do this one as a button menu, Android text. Now, I did not, excuse me, I did not put any text in here. So let's come down here, and this is actually on a new one. Oh, you know what? Right there. Boom. String name equals CNT. Alright, so contact. Save. Nope, not this one. So now we have right here string CNT. Android text color. Let's go ahead and what colors do we have? I kind of forgot about that. We got green and blue. Let's see here. Color name equals TXT. You know what? Let's just come up with some random color scheme. Let's do 05FF87. Okay, so that's kind of like a weird lime greenish color. I don't really like that one. Let's come up with another one. Let's go with 448822. Okay, so that's another green. Let's do FF99CC. Pink. Nah, we're good on pink. Let's just do red. Okay, keep it simple. So we're going to do text underscore. Well, yeah, we forgot to reference that one to be red. So where's that? Colors, text, red. Come back over here, red. Alright, so now we got Android text size, and we'll put this one, where's that other one? 20 dp. There we go. So, now we bring it back out. You got contact, you got download. Now, again, if you want these to be a little bit separated so they're not exactly butt up next to each other, we could always do this by referencing a text view element. So we're just going to do, but instead we did width earlier when we was talking about our tables. We did width. This time we're going to do height, and we're going to set this one to 15 dp. And that gives us a nice little space in between there, so that way people don't think it's just one congruent button. In fact, it's actually two buttons. Now, come over here to our main activity, and underneath all of this right here, don't know why that's there, but okay, yeah, now I do. Okay, so CNT BTN. So we have that. So now let's come down here, public void CNT button. We got final context equals this. Now we're going to create our button, which is going to be CNT BTN. I'm going to reference our button. We're going to find this specific button by viewing the ID. We're going to find the ID of this button. And we're just going to do RID contact. Now with that, we got cntb dot set onClick listener new view dot onClick listener. Okay, come on, cooperate with me a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to throw our override statement, and we're going to throw in a public void onClick. I'm going to view arg0 and open this up. Now we're going to put our intent values in there, meaning we're going to intent to do this. Equals new intent context equals contact.class start activity intent. And let's go ahead and put our media player in there, shall we? Get application context, referencing our raw file, button, mp.start. See, I told you, I was trying to get me some food this morning. This morning when I did my morning video, I was very choppy. I was all over the place and everything. I just obviously didn't have any food in my stomach. But now I do. And I still make mistakes. Alright, so now we're doing good. The only reason why this is red is because we don't exactly have a contact page set up. Let's go ahead and come over here to our Java. Go into that first folder right there. Just click New, and we're going to create an activity. Let's create an empty activity. Contact. Alright, so now we come back over here. Our contact is now white, which means we did a good job. So, right here, we're going to come in here, and let's go ahead and set our Android background. Alright, we're going to do it at drawable. Now, I told you we was going to isolate these. So, whenever the main page, alright, so we got splash screen, which is Pet Boy. We got main activity, which is DNA. And then download, which is Pet Boy. Okay, so, with that being said, we are going to set our activity contact page to the DNA. So, we got blue DNA. Alright, that does look kind of cool though. I like them both. That's why I chose them both. I couldn't decide which one I want to do. And the links are in the description in the YouTube video of the first part. I will go ahead and put the links again in the second part as well for those who want it. I also included in the first part in the links below. I also included the direct link to get your JDK, Java Development Kit. And I also included the link, the direct download link for Android Studio in case you needed that as well. Went ahead and was courteous to give that to you guys. Okay, so here we're going to put our banner up there so that people know this is still a White Ninja's Android app. ID banner. And then we're going to put this in the center. You know me, guys. Come on. We got to put it in the center. Android source at drawable White Ninja banner. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our text view. Let's do 15 dp. This is going to be Spacer 4. We're going to put this one below our ID banner, and then we're good with that. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a table element that'll have more or less a we're just going to have a text field in there. So say, okay, well, you can call this number or email this number. So it's going to have a text, then it's going to have a call button, and then it's going to have an email button. And we're going to get started on that here in just 1 second, trying to figure out one thing of how I really want to do this. So I'm thinking, I know exactly how I'm going to do it. Okay, so not a problem. Let's see here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just go ahead and create this table element. So let's do table layout, rip width, wrap content, Android ID equals ID contact table. Android below, we're going to put this one below Spacer 4. And of course, we got to put this in the center. Now, one thing I've done before is we have always left our tables without any background property, so it's just a clear, see-through, transparent property. Yeah, what we could do is we can do this 2 different ways if we want to. Technically 3. We'll cover all 3 of those ways right now. So if you wanted to put a an image as a background of your table, you do that in the table layout section, and you just do Android background at drawable, and then you'd pick your background. If I wanted to do BCKG Pip-Boy, well, we'd have that Pip-Boy coming up. And while it starts off at that size, you will see as you put content onto your table, that background will actually shrink to wrap the content, provided that you do have the height and the width of the table layout to be wrapped. So you can do it that way. Another way you could do it is also by doing at color and referencing a color. So if you did blue, it doesn't show up right now because there's nothing in there, but the image did show up. But if you was to do it this way, you can sit here and do the color blue, and then we'd do a table row, and within that row we're going to do a button. So let's just put a button in here for an Android ID equals, you know what, let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's do text view, and then we'll do Android ID. This is going to be contact text, Android layout height, wrap, Android width, wrap, Android text equals, so I don't put a string in there yet, but this is going to be contact the ninjas. I'll put a colon there. Android text size, we'll put this one here at 15 dp. It's still a little too small, so we'll do 30. Okay, that is way too big. 25. Alright, so we got Android text color, and we'll put this one, since we got blue background, let's do text green. So it'll pop out a little bit. Now we have this wonderful little setup right here. Perfect. So we have the background element inside of our table layout. But what if you wanted to have one row to have one color, and another row to have another color, and another row to have the same color as the first row? Well, we could just simply take this out right here, and that erases that. And then in that table row itself, we're going to drop this down, Android background at color, and then we'll do background blue. We'll do it that way. And then we'll go ahead and drop down, create as a new table row. Just like that. And inside of this table row, Android background, and we'll have this one here at green. And to show you what it would look like, text view, Android, I'm just throwing this up there for right now. Android text equals, here is row 2. So you can see you get the blue background right here, and then you got the green background. So you can alternate them to have different colors inside your table row elements themselves. However, in this case, I don't really care to have that. I just want a simple background image like I had before. So I'm just going to take these out right quick, and I'm going to throw my background image in here. So I'm going to do Android background at drawable, and we're going to reference that Pip-Boy. So we just do Pip-Boy, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is, I could have done this one to where I lined about to where I have my contact right here, and then I have email and then call button. And you could do that. All you got to do is play with the sizes and get the screen resolution set up right. But I want to put mine where I got this directly in the center. I got my call button, and then I got my email button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one to Android align layout. You know what? Let's do Android text alignment equals center. No, that did not work. So why did that not work? So what if I did Android layout center? Okay, so that's not going to work right there. Where is it going to work at? Android text alignment, Android width, wrap content, yeah. Android layout. Hold on one second. Okay, so if we want to put this right here in the center, one of the things that we're going to do right here is we're just going to do we'll do it this way. We'll do a text view right here, and then we'll just put this as Android width at 10 dp. Alright, so that is just a little too small, so let's do 20. So that would put that right there dead in the center for us perfectly. So we got contact the ninjas. So now we're going to drop down here, And we're going to create a text view right quick, and this is going to be where we set our height element. And we're going to put this one here at 15. Well, 20 sounds pretty good. Now I'm going to create one more table row, and in this table row what we're going to do is create our button. Or yeah, we're going to create the button, but first we need to put that text view so that way we have that same width in the first ones we have, so we can have everything deadly in the center. So we're just going to do Android width at 20, and now we're going to create our button. And give this one an ID, Android ID at, we'll call it phone for short. Android height. Just go ahead and wrap the content. Not match, we want to wrap. Now if you wanted specifically what size it is, that is fairly easy. If you want it to be like 150 wide and, or not height, if you wanted it to be like 50 height and 150 wide, you can also do that as well if you needed to, of course. So you can have it that way, or you can just simply wrap content. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and Android background. We're going to go ahead and set this one to our color. We're going to have no, we're going to get this one as our menu button. So we're going to do drawable button menu. Alright, so we have Android text alignment, Android text itself, so we got text, and we're going to go ahead and plug in a phone number right here. Alright, Android text size is, we'll put this one here at 20, see what that looks like. I think that could go up a little bit more. Not so much, we'll do 27. Sounds good to me. Alright, now let's go ahead and give this some color. I don't really necessarily like the red, green, and blue colors that we have. So let's come over here and let's do color name. Let's see here. What do we got? We got FF00FF. Pink. Yeah, sure. I'll take a pink color. Whatever. PNK. Come back over here to our contact page. So we're going to do activity. See color. Text. Add color equals text. Pink. Gives us that nice bright pink element there. Now we're going to create one more table row, and in this table row we're going to be able to have our email button. So we're just going to do a text view right quick so we can put this in the center. Android width 20, and then a button. So we'll call this one Android ID, and we'll call this one email. Android width is going to be, nope, wrap content. Android height. Let's go ahead and wrap content. Now we got Android background, drawable, and we're going to do BTN menu. Android text. We're going to have this one here as apps at whiteninja.co. Alright, so we're going to have to Android. We're going to put a text color to color text. Let's go ahead and make this one green, or let's do it blue. We'll do it blue. Android text size. Let's go ahead and make this just a little bit bigger so that people can see it. So let's see what 20 looks like to start off with. That is a little too big, so let's go to 18. Still just a little bit too big. 16. Alright, that looks perfect for me. Okay, perfect. So now we have our phone number and our email address, but I don't like that being butted up there, and I forgot to put my text view element so we can have a somewhat of a spacer. So let's put height at, we'll do this one at 18. Make it just a little bit bigger than what we're used to having right now, but not quite so big. Okay, so while that is going, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our, don't need that, come over here to our contact page. Right here we're going to do button equals call, and basically what we're doing here is we're going to create a button for a calling feature, an element. And once again, I did create this for the White Ninjas app, And I'm just using this as a reference on my White Ninjas app, so that way I don't have any troubles with it in this video. And I'll show you exactly which one it is. So as you can see, I got White Ninjas, and let's see if I can pull up my main activity right quick, so you can verify that this is my White Ninjas Android app. So this is my app, and yes, I am utilizing this as a script reference so that way I don't mess anything up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set our call feature to a button element, and naturally we're going to find this view by ID. So we're going to do ID. This is going to be call. Is that what I called it? What did we actually call this button? This one right here is phone. So it's phone. Yep, go ahead and put that in there. Alright, so now once we have that, we're going to do call.set on click listener equals, just double checking my stuff. Okay. So we got new view on click listener. Now, once we have that, we're going to go ahead and throw our override statement in and public void on click view arg. Oh, you know what? This one here is actually going to be a V. Just keep it short for this one. Now, as you can see, up until this point, it looks as if though it's almost exactly the same and almost exactly identical to just creating a regular button, and that might be true on some degree levels, but it's not always true. So what we're going to do here is we're going to throw our intent actions like we would before. Intent equals new intent. Only this time, as we can see in the code that we're fixing to put down, we are not going to be doing a context statement. Hence, we haven't created our context statement just yet. In fact, we're actually going to be doing our Android.content.intent. Now, basically what we're doing is we're going to call Android content of the intent. So basically we're saying, okay, Android, we're going to find the intent content, but we're going to look for a specific package. And the package we're going to look for is action call. Basically what this is now going to say is, okay, when this button is clicked, we are going to be calling a number. We're going to be calling a phone number. Go ahead and get that out of the way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a URI.parse element. And this is going to basically tell it to where, okay, so we're going to call a URI just like we'd call our web view elements. Only this time, we're going to reference that to a tel number, T-E-L, as we see here. So we got tel equals, and then we can do plus equals. You can do it this way, or, and then just put your phone number in like normal, yada, 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 374-8836. You could do it this way. This way would be acceptable. Or, if you don't want to go through all that code, just take out all that right there. And you've got all that set up. That is one of two different ways you can do this feature. Now, we're going to do our start activity intent. And it is that simple to create a call feature from inside your Android app. Now, naturally, this wouldn't be 100% right if we did not go ahead and create our media. And likewise, this wouldn't be completely done if we did not have our media app, so that we could sit here and say, okay, we're going to create a sound effect on our button click. So we're just going to do create get our raw sound button. You don't always have to put a sound button on every single button you do. You can just create it on a few of them, or you don't even have to have them at all. I personally do because it adds a little bit more flair to it. You can also create different sound effects for your different buttons. So if you wanted to download 3 or 4 different button effects and have it for like button effects for the main page, button effects for contact page, you know, different effects and different audio effects, you can knock yourself out and download all the audio files you want, put it inside here. You can download as many background images or draw up as many background images using XML as you want to and throw them in there. It's not a problem. You can have up to 100 different pages inside your Android app if you really wanted to. However, do please keep in mind when you're building your Android apps, the smaller the package, the lightweight it is, as the more lightweight it is, and the easier it is to deploy. Whenever people sit there and look at their Android app and they're like, okay, well, you know, they run viruses because their Android is slow as crap, you know, it's bogging down and everything. They're like, well, what is this? And so they naturally go to some sort of an antivirus software, and they're like, okay, well, this is what's causing it to slow down because it's so big. Well, naturally, if your app is causing their device to slow down because it's so big, they're going to delete your app. So keep it small, keep it lightweight, and keep it flashy. Welcome to the world of Android programming. And so now we have that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our email account. We're going to be able to create the email. Now this one is actually a lot like creating a regular button to go from one page to another. So we're going to sit here and do email, just like that. And come over here, create a public void email. Alright, so we're going to sit here and go ahead and throw in our final context. Context equals this. Alright, yes, I don't care. Alright, so just go ahead and set your buttons up like normal. Equals button find view ID, our ID. Now we did, so this one's going to be our email button. So now we got button dot set on click listener, new view dot on click listener, override public void on click view arg. Alright, so up until this point, this is a normal button to go from one page to another. And if we really wanted to, we can go ahead and set this page to go up to another page. Not a problem. However, in this time, we want to be able to create our new element. So we're going to do new element intent. And we're actually going to call an intent inside of here. I'm going to do intent, and we're going to do action view. And this is what we're going to do, a URI.parseElement again. And this is where I reference back to the tail number. This one, what we're going to do is we're going to do mail to. Alright, so we're going to close that quotes off. We're going to go ahead and throw our plus sign. And this is where you can put your own personal email in there. In my case, it's apps at whiteninja.co. Close that off. Boom. Now we're done with that element. And if you wanted to truly do this, you could go ahead and just do your start activity intent. Boom, you're done. However, let's go ahead and help our people out a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw in a subject in there. So whenever they do push that little button and their email client does finally pop up, and they won't have to sit there and click on, okay, well, they don't have to click the subject, they don't have to do this, they don't have to do that. We want to make it to them as easy as possible. And we're going to take care of that right now. So we're going to do intent.putExtra, and we're going to do intent extra subject. Now what this is going to do is it's going to basically put automatically inside the subject line what you want this to be. In my case, I'm going to sit here and do something like Android Studio Learning App or Learning Course. So that way whenever I get the email, okay, I know that this is coming from my Android Studio Learning Course Android application. So now what we can do if we really wanted to, come in here and do an intent.putExtra, intent.extra text. Alright, now this, make sure, yep, it is text. Now what this is going to do is basically display a text of body. So you could do, please put your message here. Alright, you can leave it like that, and that way when people sit there and read it, say, okay, so when you sit there and look at your email client, you'll have your mail to apps at whiteninja.co. You'll have your subject at Android Studio Learning Courses, and already a message in the body already saying, please put your message here. Now that's all great, fine and dandy, but if you don't want to have a message in there already, just take out this line right here. Just take it out. In my case, I'm going to leave that in there. So if for those of you that do download this app, you'll be able to actually see what all of these different elements do. So you can follow along, watch the app, and have fun with it. Now, what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and do our start activity intent. Close that off. That way, when they click on the button, it will actually work. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and do our media player. Yeah, MP equals media player dot create get application context r raw sound button, and we'll do mp dot start. Alrighty then. So we have our email configuration, we have our phone call configuration. But if we sit here and look, we don't exactly have a way to be able to go back. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shrink this down. Actually, I'm going to do this to 150. See what that looks like. Alright, that's a little too short for me, so I'm going to sit here. Now what I'm doing is I am doing a custom size of the background. So no matter what platform you're on, whether you be on a tablet, whether you be on a 9-inch phone or a 7-inch phone or a 5-inch phone, this right here will be the same size on any device. Does not matter. And you can also go ahead and set the width as well as set the width of your table as well. So we'll do this one at 250. So if we sit here and look at this, we can see that no matter what platform we're on, it's going to be a 250 by 250, and it will stay perpendicular no matter what platform. So now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to create a text view to basically go ahead and set it down just a little bit. Android ID spacer 5 below ID. It's going to be contact table. So now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do a button wrap Android ID equals at plus ID back Android below ID spacer 5, and I'm not going to put it in the center. I'm just going to leave it kind of like right there. Alright, so now I'm going to do Android background equals at drawable, and I'm going to throw my button menu in there. Android text equals back. Android text color, we'll go ahead and set this one to our color. We'll see, let's do blue. Seems to be the theme for this one anyway. Android text size, and we'll put this at 20 dp. Make it 25 so they can actually read it a little bit. So we have that. So now we got a back button, an email button, a call button. But we created this button, and we did not put the back button in here. So let's come in here, do back, and we'll come down here and create our back end element for our back button. Funny how that works out, isn't it? So let's go ahead and do that. Come on. Final context. Yep, that's right. Alrighty, so now we have our back button in the back end, our back button in the front end, and our call button and our email button. So, we're doing great so far. Now, we are technically ready to go ahead and push this app live to the market. However, there are two more elements that I want to show you guys on how you can do this. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to create one more page, and I'm going to call this one like YouTube or something like that, so you can have a YouTube video inside your app, or you can do we're going to do basically a web view, or I'll call it something here in a minute. So it's going to, in this other screen that we're going to create, it will have a scroll view, and it will have a web view element in there. And basically the purpose of this app is to have all the major components that you will need in any of your Android application developments for other companies or for yourself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And right here we're going to do contact, so let's go ahead and drop down, throw a text view in there for a spacer. Android width, nope, we don't want width, we want Android height. We'll set the other one at 15. Table row So we're going to create a button. Android ID equals at what's ID, and we'll set this one here to YouTube. Android height rep. Android. Yep, I had that right. Android width equals rep. Alright, background is going to be at drawable BTN menu. Then we're going to do Android text color. It's going to be color text. We'll do red. It happens to be the YouTube color, or we could do white. So let's just do white. WHT. I'll go back and I'll go in there in a second and create that white text. So we'll do size is what's the rest of them? 20. Android text equals YouTube. Alright, so I do not have that one in here, so let's come in here and we'll add that color white. Android color. There we go. And we have YouTube. Awesome. So let's go ahead and create ourselves our YouTube app activity. So we should come in here to an empty activity. YouTube. Just like that. Alright, but we do have to reference our YouTube button in here. So let's do YouTube. So we're going to come on down here, and then we're going to do a public void YouTube. I'll do a final context. Context equals this. Button. Equals YouTube. Button dot set on click listener. New view dot on click listener at override public void on click view arg. Alright, so open this up. Intent equals new. Intent context equals YouTube dot class. Alright, so now we have start activity intent media player dot p equals. Alright, so now we have our YouTube button created and it links to here. We need something back here. So I think the last one we did was for our background we did the blue DNA. So it is Pip-Boy's turn. So we got Android background equals drawable Pip. Pip-Boy. Alright, so now, oh that's right, we're not going to do it this way. Let's go ahead and take this out. Now there's two different ways you can use a scroll view. You can put your scroll view down in here and have everything inside that scroll view. No, inside of it technically. Or you can have the whole entire page do a scroll view. So more essentially, do you want the background, essentially what you have to ask yourself is, do you want your background to be stationary or not? Do you want it to be fixed or loose where it can scroll? So if we come over here, let's do it up here. So we do a scroll view. Android layout width equals fill parent. Android layout height equals fill parent. Android background equals add drawable equals so this is going to be Pip-Boy, so we'll do it that way. So now if we take this out right here, go ahead and add those in and come over here and we'll do /. Alright, so now what we have is that we have our scroll view. Now earlier, throughout my videos, you see me do match parent, wrap parent, or set the exact size that I want. Now fill parent is actually a depreciated module when you're talking about the newer updates of, the newer models of Android development. But essentially, the fill parent will go to the size of the model. So if it's if you got an Android phone or tablet that's like this big or this big or this big, this wide, doesn't matter. It will still fill that entire screen, essentially is what we're saying. So you can either have it this way, or we can just go ahead and take this out completely and take this section out. And then we'll set our background inside of here. So we'll do background equals drawable Pip Boy. And then inside here we'll have our scroll view, in which we can still do our fill parent. And then inside of here we will have all of our content. Either way will work just as well. It just matters of, do you want your background to rotate with everything, and do you want to keep this view? Personally, I do it the first way that I've done it before, where I had the whole screen as a scroll view. So we'll do scroll view, Android layout, width, fill, parent, Android layout, height equals fill, parent, Android background equals at drawable equals bckg. Nope. Pip Boy. Alright, so I'm going to take this over here. Now what I'm going to do right quick, just because I like everything to be exactly right, is I'll just go ahead and set all that stuff over. Just like that. So everything is perfect. So now we have that. And we can get rid of this right here because we don't need it no more. So now we have a huge screen, and it's not like this one is over here where you have your emulator. You can still see what you're putting on here, but since you're filling the parent and since you're using a scroll view outside of your relative view, it doesn't know exactly how to put that into a format that it can understand. So with that being said, let's go ahead and put this on. Alright, so basically what we're going to do here is we're going to create ourselves. We're going to start off with our header. Image view, wrap, banner, Android center horizontal true, and we'll bring that source control in here, drawable, and we'll call that WHT. There it goes. There we go. Look how pretty that looks on that background. That looks just so beautiful. Almost like it was made for it, doesn't it? Believe it or not, that just happened to come out the way that did. So, anyway, all jokes aside, let's go ahead and throw a text view in there, basically a spacer, and we're going to do Android ID equals at plus ID. I had to think about it for a minute. Spacer 6. Android below ID banner. There we go. Alright. So now we have our Android page in a scroll view format, which is great. But now what we need to do is create our web view elements. And the way we can simply do that is by doing something like this. Okay. So now what we're going to do is get that web view going on. So you just type in web view. We're going to wrap the content. Make sure you can. Let's match the content, match parent. That way it'll take up the whole proportion of the entire screen. We're going to call this one ID at plus ID equals. We'll call this one YouTube vid 1. Android below ID spacer 6, and we want this one to be in the center. Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're good like that. Alright, so now we need a frame layout. We'll match the parent on this one as well. And this one right here is going to be in the center. Ouch. Center. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, no. Android layout. It's not going to work out, is it? So, we will do. What I'm doing here is I'm looking back at my other script. Left. Come over here. I forgot a couple of things on this one. So we're going to do an Android layout align parent start equals true. And then we're going to do align layout align bottom, which would be set to, wait, no, we actually need to, I screwed all of this up according to my other code. We need to do align left equals true. And then we're going to do a layout underscore align right equals true. Android layout align left, which is true. Yeah. Why is it align parent? That's what I'm missing. And then those turn green. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do basically the same concept for the frame layout. Let's see, we're going to do Android layout align parent left equals true. Android layout align true. Alright, so now we have that. Alright guys, sorry about that little break. I had to go get me a Red Bull right quick. So, now we have this. We're going to align this one below plus ID equals YouTube vid 1. And we'll have that all lined up. Perfect. Great. So now that we have that all set up, what we're going to do is go over here to our JavaScript. And this is the one where we can come in here to the back end. So what we're going to need to do first is, first of all, we're going to need to create a private class, references something, and then give that a nickname. And we're just going to simply do it by private web view m web view. Now, what we're doing is we're calling a private class of a web view, and we're nicknaming it m, short for my web view. So now if we come over here, it's going to be actually, now what we're going to do is m web view equals an actual web view element. Now within this one, we're going to be able to find our ID, find our web view element. So we're just going to do our find view by ID, and we're going to reference it RID YouTube vid 1. Alright, so now we have that set up. What we're going to do now is we're going to have to reference this to go to a specific URL. So we're going to do my web view.load URL. Alright, so now we're going to set this to go to a specific string. In this case, we're going to reference it to go to YouTube. Oh look, it's right here. Haha. So I think this is the first one of my series. So we're going to come over here, control this, close out of that, and then come down here. Alright, and now I've got my string for my YouTube video. Now that I've got that, let's drop down here, and we are going to grab the web view element again. So we're going to do my web view equals web view find view by ID RID YouTube vid 1. Now the reason why we're calling this as a reference again is because the first time we called it as a reference, we said, hey, when you first load up, you need to load this element. Once it has that loaded up, now we need to do something else with it. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to actually be able to set our web settings inside of here. YouTube and a lot of websites does utilize Java. So what we're going to do is to make sure that all your web view elements are going to be perfectly against the board, let's go ahead and enable the JavaScript. And we're going to do that by doing web settings. Alright, now we're going to go that to, we're just going to nickname this one to web settings. So basically it's the same thing, but with a lowercase w instead of an uppercase. So once we have that, we're going to do my web view. Alright, so .get settings. Alright, so now we're saying, okay, so we're going to call a web settings. Basically, we're going to set the settings, the essential settings for our website, for the web view. And we're going to use web view, my m web view. Okay, so we got our YouTube web view, That loads it. Now it's going to grab the settings from where we tell it to get settings at. And that is actually going to be right here. Web settings dot set JavaScript enabled. Now what this is going to do is basically say, okay, are we going to enable JavaScript, yes or no? True or false? In this case, it's going to be true. So now we have all of that. We're going to do my web view one more time. Dot set web view client. Now we're going to have to sit here and basically refresh this. Once the settings are done and the URL is done, let's essentially go ahead and refresh it. So we're just going to do a new web view client. Just like that. Actually, this needs to be in there. Done. So, we have that, which is perfectly great. Now everything is done for our YouTube video. This will actually be displayed rather largely inside the actual app itself. It won't be just this little bitty tiny box. So once we have all this. Now, I did forget that we also have one small little thing missing from here. We don't have our back button. So I am going to place my back button above my banner, up in the top right corner this time. So, Android ID equals back. Android center horizontal, false. That's good. So now this one, Android layout below, is going to be back. Just like that. So it's going to be much like that. Now we're going to sit here. I don't want to match parent. Why did I do that? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do Android background, and we're going to set this one to that background button that we created earlier, and then we're going to apply some text. So let's go ahead and do Android text. Let's do back Android text. What color? Alright, so we got text. What colors do we have? Let's go with the green color. I like that. Android text size. We'll do this one here at 20 dp. 30. 30 looks good. I don't really like that green though. Let's see. Can we do that blue? Yeah, we'll set that blue one up there. So we have our back button, our banner, and our web view element. But we did forget to include a back button script for this right here. So let's go ahead and put this in right quick. So we got final context equals this. Button equals button find URID back button set on click listener new view dot on click listener add override public void on click view arg. So we got intent equals new intent context main activity class start activity intent media player mp equals media. We'll just do it that way. Get application context r raw. Alright, so we have that. Now let me get all these little errors fixed over here, because I didn't do it as I went along. So now we got our back button, we got our web view, and inside of the actual activity we have our scroll view. Now the purpose of scroll view, like I was saying before, is if you're going to have several different alignments, like if you're going to have like a huge lot of text, a lot of buttons, and it's just not going to fit on that one screen. Not a problem. And instead of resizing, making them small and making it really hard for everybody to read once they actually download your app, just throw in a scroll view and make them as big as you want. Obviously not too big. Now, once we have that, we are ready to go. So, before we leave this, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our lucky little Chrome browser is what I got. So we're going to do Android Developers Console. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and log into our Developers Console. I'm actually going to log out and create a new one, and that way you can see how to go ahead and get yourself started up. I'm going to come in here under white. Nope, I don't want that one. I want this one right here. Sign in. So once you sign in, you're going to be able to select your account and have fun with that and get everything all set up. And this is basically going to say, are you sure you want to use this account, or you can create a new Google account. It is a $25 one-time fee, a $25 one-time registration fee. Just click on I agree and willing to associate my account registration with Google Play Developer Distribution Agreement. Oh, I thought I clicked that. Continue to payment. Now, we're going to go ahead and pay for our agreement. Luckily, my card is saved on file, so I don't have to type it in and risk getting my credit card stolen. Awesome blossom. Alright, now my payment is complete. I am ready to go. Now, my developer's name. I'm going to set this up as White Ninjas. Email address is going to be apps@whiteninja.co. whiteninja.co. Well, you know, I'll do the www. Make it appear to be a little bit more formal. Phone number is going to be 817-374-8836. There you go. I like new features. You can do this one if you want information about tips and announcements from Google itself. And you can also give feedback to improve the developer console. I always opt in for that one. This is already another Google developer with this name. Okay, so what I did was I went to my other account and I went ahead and changed that old one to something else, so I could be able to complete my registration here. So if I come over here, I am now registered to develop on the Google market, and I can push an Android app anytime and as many as I want to. One thing I love about Android Google Developer Play Console, huge name, outside of the name itself. It is a one-time registration fee of $25. Now with that, you're set for life until you cancel the account or you just don't want to do it no more. That's fine. You can publish as many apps as you want. You can monetize your apps. You can put ads in your apps and have fun with it. One account, I know a guy who had put one account and he had 119 apps on his account. And I'm like, okay, so yes, feel free to upload as many applications as you want. Just make sure you're not copyright infringing. So let's go ahead and publish a new app on Android. We're going to call this one Android Studio Learning Course. Alright, so we're going to upload an APK. Alright, so we're going to upload our first APK to production, but we'll get there here in just 1 second. We're going to talk about what you need first. Well, the first thing this is going to do is tell you, okay, you need to upload your APK. Well, the first thing you need to go ahead and give it a title. Give it a small, short description. What is this about? Android app for learning, Android Studio. Alright, now you can do the full description. You can do contact methods. You can do all kinds of different things. You can basically put it like an entire biography. Just remember, keep this one under 4,000. So we'll do something like this right here. Okay, I couldn't really figure out something to write, so I just went ahead and put this down right there. Not a big deal. So now you need to put screenshots in here. Now me, I utilize something like, what do I use? I use Greenshot is what I use. So I'm come over here and I'm going to close out of you, close out of you, close out of you, close out of you. Alright, so I'm closing out of all of my tabs except for the main ones that I want. So I'm going to put my splash screen up. I'm going to do got my main page, I got my contact page, and I got my download page. These are the ones that I would put on the store. So I'll just use my print screen button, and I'll sit here and just take a screenshot, just like that. Now I'm going to save this in a folder where I know I will be able to find it later. So this is going to be main page. So I got that one done. Now I'm going to, actually that was splash screen. So, alright, so now that you get that going, so let's go ahead and see, this was splash screen. Oops, sorry about that, guys. So now let's go over here to our main page, and we're going to take a screenshot of this, save as, and we're going to go to White Ninjas Android. Alright, this is our main page. And then we'll do our activity download. Save this one as, and then we'll do this one here as download page. And last but not least, I will put this one on here. Now the reason I'm not putting my web view on here is because it doesn't look right on here, and it's also not the same background, so it's not this whole same format. If I really wanted to, I would work with it and make it to where it's all perfect, but I just really don't want to do that right now. So now what we got is we're going to pull this up, add our phone image. So we're going to come over here to desktop, open that folder up that you saved all those informations to, splash page, main page, download, and contact, just like that. Now you're going to need a high resolution icon. Be optimized if you would make all these the same. What I find is really great to do just a simple little icon is I go to cooltext.com. Once I go here, I find me whatever I want to use as a icon, a stored listing icon, and I go ahead and create it and download it and have fun with it. Okay, so we go into here, grab our icons, high res, future graphic, promo graphic, and TV banner. You don't really need to enter a promo video. It's not really needed. Now what you got to do is your application type. What type is this? An application or is it a video game? It's an application for us. What is it going under? Well, technically it would be an educational app, so we'll put it underneath there. And of course this is open for everybody. There's no nudity, tobacco, or anything like that in there. And this is not necessary. It's optional if you want to put your phone number in there. Not submitting a privacy URL at this time. So once all this page looks good, I'm going to save draft. So our content rating. Basically what this means is that we are going to have to create a content rating once we have the APK updated. And this basically says, yes, this is rated E for everybody, or it's rated X for whatever reason that it would be rated for something else. Now the pricing and distribution. You can get this as a paid app or a free app. I'm going to select all countries. No, my ad does not contain apps. My app does not contain ads. Distribute your app through Google Play for children. Does this app application offering? No, it does not. Alright, opting out, do not. Basically what this right here means is it just says, okay, we're allowing anybody that is not Google owned to market your information, to market your app. I always check that undone because the more people it reaches, the better you are. And basically what this little section right here is, if you're developing an app for educational purposes, it can go through a special Google Play account going through Google Education. So this app does meet and acknowledge. Okay, so that would be all this, but we have to get that saved. We can finish the rest of this work once we have our APK updated. So let's come back over here to our Android Studio. What we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves a generated assign APK. So if you already have an existing one, just go ahead and build one or create one new. This is where you'll be able to assign it essentially. So we're going to come over here to find out where we want to put it. In this case, I'm going to put it into this one, that, and I'm going to put it underneath here. And I'm going to name it key WNJA key store. Alright, so now what you want to do is you create yourself a new password. I'm going to do this one here. I'm going to do this one there. Now this password must be different from the password you're going to create down here, whether it be one or two numbers or the whole thing completely redone. It's best if you just create two different passwords that are very similar, but you're missing one or two letters. Alright, now this is how long you want it to be valid for. So in 50 years from the release of this date, this app will no longer be valid. But if you create a new update or something, or you need to update anything, it'll be alright. 50 years is generally a good time for something like this to go. So we're going to do certificate. This is going to be Dr. Aubrey W. Love II, White Ninjas Mobile Developers. I'll just put devs. Organization, White Ninjas. City, I'm in the Fort Worth, Texas area, USA. So basically this is very simple. Your name, what organization unit that you are representing, the organization you're representing, and your location, city, town, whatever, and then your state and your country code, USA, or whatever your country code is. Just put that right there. Once you have all this information filled out, click OK. Passwords do not match. Alright, so I'm going to click on Remember Passwords. That way whenever I bring this studio back up again, it'll essentially be able to remember what my password was for this one, which is very handy if you're going to use multiple apps and you're going to use different passwords for each of the apps. So you just go ahead and click Next. Now this is where you can say debug or release. If you're just going to do this as a debug type, this is where for beta testers and alpha testers and stuff like that comes into play at. But if you want to launch this to where people can view it right now and it's live to everybody within just a few hours of updating, just click Release. Now once this is done, you got the build grade right down here. See it pop up. Now we're just waiting on that to do. Generally speaking, this only takes just a few minutes to do. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so it finally was able to get done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm coming over here to this place right here, come over here, and I had built, so now I just got to find out where did it build to. Okay, so it built to right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this one. So I'm going to do this one Android Studio Learning Course. I'm going to do it just like that. Now we're going to slide this over here, minimize this, we'll pull this back up. We're going to upload our first APK to production. You can either browse through your files or just click and drag. Once this goes ahead and gets set up and working, alrighty then. So now we have our new Android app version, and right now it is in production mode because we still have to do our content rating and our pricing and distribution. So now we have our APK uploaded, our store listings are good. We'll just go ahead and continue with our content rating. Now this right here is basically saying you can give it any email address in the entire world that you want it to go to. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to send you a confirmation saying, okay, we reviewed your app, we reviewed the content rating for it, you're good to go. It's good. So in that case, we're just going to go ahead and you would go through here and pick out whichever one that would fit your specific needs. In my case, mine would be more along the lines of reference news or educational. Does this app contain violent material? I'd hope not. Sexuality? No. Language? No. Controlled substances? No. Miscellaneous? This app? Just go through here and basically click no. You can read each one of these, but if it applies to you, just click yes. So you save questionnaire and then calculate rating. Now it automatically does a calculating, which gives me an L for all ages, which is really great. And I've got everything else set perfectly. So now I'm just going to apply rating. Now, just a few seconds ago, we can see that we had done our certificate. And I will be emailed this certificate number to this email address once the apply gets completed. Now our pricing and distribution. You can go with paid or free. Depends on you, however you want to do it. You can opt in for Google Play for Work, Design for Families. You can even set your app up for the different ones. Android Wear, TV, or Auto. So, no, it does not have ads. Do not promote my content. I'll just go ahead and do it that way. Now, you want to check content guidelines and US export laws. Basically, what that is saying is that you are acknowledging that your software does comply with the agreements bestowed upon Google and their Android developers' information. Now, if you want to set up a paid account, be sure to go ahead and set up your merchant account. I have not done that, and I may do that later on in life. I just haven't decided if I want to or not. So now we have this one saved. Now you can see our publish app is now clear. So go ahead and click on publish app. Now you see right here, it'll take several hours before it's available through the Google Play. Translation. We'll get to it as soon as we can. Now, the difference between Google and Apple is I submitted an app to the Apple Store yesterday morning. It is still pending. It has not been updated yet. I can guarantee you though this will be on the store within just a few hours. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to push an update to this either today or tomorrow. I'll probably end up pushing the update tomorrow or sometime this week. And what that update is going to do for this one is it's going to allow you to download specific pages. You can view other YouTube videos. I'll put more YouTube videos in there. I will be putting a lot more content into this app to get you started the right way for Android development using Android Studio. If you like this video, please give me a like.